Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, everyone that is tuned into Smart 24 TV. Yes, this is the morning breakfast show, Smart Men's Business, here in Smart 24 TV. We're located along Plot 42, Nile Avenue. You can catch us there, you can visit us, and we could talk business. We are running business 24/7. Definitely anything relating to business. Well, my name is Masika Simi. Welcome from a fully packed weekend. It couldn't have been packed for you, but we give God the glory. We give God the glory that you are really made. Today is the 22nd of April, and trust me, I know you must be thinking it was just fast recently. It was just fast recently, and now we are almost closing up the month. Yeah, we're just left with just a few days to close up the month of April. Yeah, and it being a Monday, trust me, it's rush hour. People are getting to work. For Uganda, I don't know what they call rush hour, honestly. Yeah, but well, that brings us to a conversation of today. Did you know, actually, for now, if you are a business person, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are employed, yeah, this is for everyone that is employed, that self-employment. I want you to sit and self-assess yourself. Because now, today is the 23rd. People last received salary on the 28th, 29th, probably 30th, or probably 24th. So, do you think by now you're relying on salary? Yes. Given the report that we got, 70% that we have, 70% actually, of Ugandans spend much more than they earn. Well, that leaves 10%, only 10% of those that are satisfied with what they have. Trust me. By now, this very Monday morning, someone is not able to go to work because they do not have transport. And why? Because the cost of living is high. Mostly in our capital city. Yeah, the cost of living is extremely high. So talk of a person who earns maybe 400,000 a month. Talk about distance, because if you want to have affordable housing, they're usually located in far-end places. You're staying probably in Namugongo, you're staying in Boyogerere, and your workplace is in town. So you have to spend, most of the people that actually do spend money, almost half of their salary on transport. So where does that leave food? Necessities, if you have children, yeah, if you have to pay tuition. So that is quite devastating. 70% of Ghanaians spending much more than that. And it's so funny how you will think. And of course, we've been talking about poverty eradication programs have come up, but then these are not sustainable at the end of the day. So we want to look for programs that are sustainable for both employed and of course those are into business. So you can imagine if you've not made a profit, if you had a business, if you had a business and you didn't make a profit this month. That trust me, because first of all, you could be having a car, you have to fuel it, yeah, and of course due to the traffic jam here, traffic in Kampala, the insane traffic jam, you find yourself burning fuel along that due to the traffic. Yes, you have to go. Some of them had closed up shops last week. They closed up shops, and some of them were open because at the end of the day, Kwemanya, you don't have to know what the situation you're in, because now children are going to be doing their end of term. Campus students are doing their papers, end of sem papers. So you as a parent, yeah, you assess yourself. That is why we find people working like 3 jobs, because it's quite insane. One job cannot actually sustain you, even you personally. Now we can wow, this is interesting, So you find we are living in a gig economy. Even the gigs that we get are not sustainable for us. Yeah, they cannot sustain us. So you find someone working, they're working half day here, half day then. There is also the night economy. They are busy. So it's actually, if you think about it, it's madness. And majority working class operate on personal budget deficit. yeah, which we're talking about working on deficit. Yeah, you've spent your salary by now, so you're calling in friends, you're calling in family for help. So that is the kind of situation we talk about when you say working budget deficit. Or in a budget mabanja, by now you can't think straight. Now you're relying on someone you lent money and they're not paying, and then that whole notion, yeah. And of course 70% of Ugandans spend more than they earn, and of course majority relying on family, saving to make ends meet. Yeah, that is quite true actually. Assess yourself. Okay, fine, you may be doing well, but then you've heard of stories, you have friends and maybe family that call you in once in a while. They're like, yes, Masi, I am stuck here and there, can you help me with this amount of cash? And you're not sure if they're going to even pay back because they're in dire need. The situation they're in can't allow them to pay you back in the shortest time possible. Probably they have other debts, but because your family, your friend, you could actually be lenient to them. Well, of course, looking at Ugandan adults have stopped relying on their children for their future. Well, this generation, we are now relying on our parents, which is quite interesting, for a person who's grown, you're 30, and you're still staying in your parents' house, probably, and you could be a man, and you're eating food from home. You know, once in a while they chip in, they give you transport. So it's funny. It's really funny. It's really funny. So the times where parents would rely on their children is now gone. Yeah. So we are the ones that call in. You know what? I'm stuck here. Help me with this kind of cash. So it's gone because now if you're in an employment working class, space where you're spending every now and again, you're spending on food probably you don't pack from home, you spend food you buy from a restaurant. I mean, assess yourself actually in a day, from breakfast to lunch, yeah, to transport, in a day, what do you think an average Ugandan spends on a day? Yeah, some spend 20,000 on a day, yeah. Some spend 50,000 in a day, 30,000, depending on your salary scale. Yeah, even 30,000 for some people, it's a lot. Someone is like, can you watch commando lunch? And that's it, because you understand. Of course, 20% still have no long-term plans. That is lack of patience that has led to financial vulnerability. Now, listen. If we continue like this, where we are, spending what we earn in just like 2 weeks, trust me, it reminds me of the days where they used to give you upkeep and it's done within a week. Now we're looking at situations where it's going to be hard for us to save for the future, yeah. And the only savings, because some employees actually forced to give in their NSSF numbers. Some are really reluctant to a few things, yeah, because they feel my company is going to go, but this is preparing you for the future. Yeah, once you cannot rely on parents, on your children. Yeah, it's not like we have elderly homes here in Uganda. If they're there, there are quite few. Yeah. So that you can go probably stay there in your old age. It's different. You have to rely now on yourself. So let us learn to save for ourselves, yeah, because as far as I see things, I don't think we are going to be helped in one way or the other. So like I said, 11% are the ones that are satisfied. Even the ones that seem satisfied, they want more. So that the situation in Uganda is really good, yeah. Now, of course, we have a couple of issues that come into shape. We have sickness, agricultural risk, theft being one of the biggest challenges to financial resilience. Sickness hunger, starvation, malnutrition, all that. Now, it's funny how you're going to think, well, you could be thinking, where do Ugandans spend all this money? Because someone will tell you, you know what, sinners are lunch, but you find them in the bar in the evening. You know, we are spending money on unnecessary things. This impulse buying that we have, this notion of the saving, you know, most of Ugandans spend. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that we spend much on. We spend much on food, which is also, I would say, necessary, but it depends on the food that you go. It depends on where you go for your lunch. It depends on where you go. You cannot be earning 200,000 and you're going to afford a meal of 50K. It's not reasonable. Yeah? Yeah, so the night economy is where everything goes wrong. Yeah, because then someone is going to get probably tipsy or high, and next thing they're swiping, it's out, they're out of cash. Yeah, so that is also an issue. The night economy is also one of the challenges that we have. Well, given agriculture being the backbone of our country and contributing 24% to the GDP, I think that is also not enough, because even the farmers themselves, they have issues, they are complaining, you know. Take a mutwala atano, najamu mtwalo chinana, just a profit of 30,000, which I feel like it should be even be double or triple. They're not getting as much. First of all, some seedlings are expensive unless you want low quality produce. Yeah, but if you want quality produce, you have to go for the bigger fish. You have to go for the bigger, the more. Okay, in Uganda, the more expensive something is, the more authentic it is. That's our notion in Uganda, where I don't know if it's true or not. So a majority of Ugandans spend on food and drinks. Yeah. And you know, someone once made a joke and they said, you know, so we're really spending on unnecessary things, you know. Someone, you know, it's good actually to take your family once in a while, you know, for a treat or something, but depends on how much you spend at the end of the day. You could have a meal home, you know, you could have takeaway. Well, of course, majority of the pillars which are on the different programs of poverty eradication are directly increasing the ability of poor to raise their income. So that was the whole initiative of you know, bringing in these programs for poverty eradication, yoga, these programs, PDM also have come up, but then the beneficiaries really getting out of it. Yeah, because most of them have invested. They have invested what they've been given. But if we go back to the drawing board, do you think they've gotten out of it since? Yeah, let's be honest. I think we shall do a survey one of these days. Well, of course, it's 15 minutes past 7 a.m. and of course, I'm going to be looking at what is happening to the press. Well, I have the Daily Monitor, the East African, and the New Vision, and of course, looking at what the president was set to address the traders. Well, traders must pay taxes. That is according to the President of the Republic of Uganda. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If the system is the problem, let it be rectified. And of course, business owners agreed to reopen shops as URA asked to hold past IFRI's fines. Okay, good for them. Good for them. And of course, Church of Uganda demands $2 billion from Breakaway Church. Well, that's quite some huge sums of money. And of course, President Museveni speaks out on economic sabotages. Saboteurs. Yeah, so that is what is happening in Uganda. So now expect to go to DT downtown and, you know, get yourself something, because That is what they wanted. And of course, fees in government-aided schools to be revised. Yes, they have to be revised because now government schools are paying actually some money as well. And of course, fresh fight erupts over Uganda telecom deal. And of course, the executives of the foreign firm owing majority stake in the revived Uganda Telecommunications Corporation Limited are expected in the country this week to resolve the delay in handing over to their management of the national optic fiber network. That and more if you get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor. Well, Uganda-Tanzania gas pipeline feasibility study to cost 5.6 billion. Interesting. Of course, mourners actually demand road safety measures during Okiot burial. And of course, last week there was also a some accident that happened on that same road. That same spot actually where Okiot was crushed from. It was quite devastating, and the car lost brakes, lost control. The brakes were not working. God, it's really actually, when you're on the road, you're at the mercy of God. You do not know. You could be in doing the right precaution. You are probably putting on the right measures, but someone reckless, you're gone. You're gone. So it is everyone's responsibility. Help out a friend, okay? Help out a friend, so that you shouldn't, lose your life over someone's carelessness, I should say. Yeah, and of course, in memory of Dr. Alika. Yeah, and of course, like I said, the fight. Well, of course, let's see what is in the East African, how local politics informed choice of new East African community boss. Of course, looking at saga of Caroline Mweke. Losing Arusha posting to compatriot Veronica Nduva goes back to community. And of course, traders cry over taxation. Well, this is Uganda. Yes, it had to be there. We had to make headlines along East Africa. Yeah. And yes, in the new vision, yes, I'm seeing Princess Bagaya celebrating 88th birthday in style. Wow. Yeah. Once a model, once a beauty queen. Yeah. Yes, and looking at the fees that are yet to be revised of the government-aided schools. And of course, 5 acquitted of NSSF land fraud. Yeah, and of course, big car dealers are caught to ring-fence government supply. Yeah, that and more when you get yourself a copy of the new vision. And of course, here on the schools, government-aided schools, the president said that the government is going to invite school head teachers to review the fees charged in government-aided schools. And of course, he was at Chitabi Secondary School. Yeah, it's of course, acquired further. They found out that they are still charging small fee of 150 per time, which adds up to 450 a year, which caters for lunch, money to pay extra teachers who cannot, who are not on payroll. Yeah, charging small fee. So okay, yeah, that is also interesting. At least Bonavasome, that was the thing. That was the whole thing. Well, of course. Traders here, they are resuming work this week. And of course, as the Archbishop of Church of Uganda, Archbishop Kazima Mugalo tips local manufacturers. Yeah, and of course, as he was at Crown Beverages, yeah, in Kakungulu plant, right there. And of course, Museveni has lashed out of groups he described as economic saboteurs. And of course, who for decades decampaigned value addition for Uganda's natural resources. And of course, the list he said included traitors, scandalers, wow, and the ignorant. Well, Well, that is also part of this, yeah. While he was actually right there with the Minister of Minerals, yeah, yeah. So definitely a lot happens in Uganda that you're not aware of. So that is why we give you everyday information as you are enjoying the weekend, as you were having fun. A lot was happening in Uganda away from your life, you know. And of course, Russia donates mobile labs to fight pandemics. Yeah, that is Russia. Yeah, and of course, National Water Sewage Corporation tops shortlist for prestigious SDG 6 campaign award. Yeah, of course, Uganda's National Water was the only African utility organization to make the shortlist for the prestigious award. Could we win this award? Water, sanitation, because they go hand in hand. Water and sanitation go hand in hand. And of course, looking at the 30.8 billion water project to save women from domestic violence. Well, I don't know how that is. I mean, how does it help, you know, save them from domestic violence? I mean, if they actually, okay, promotional connections will see each person pay 100,000, and of course with the implementation of integrated water development management funded by the World Bank, water scarcity in Kadama Town Council, which has led to several consequences for women, including domestic violence, and acquisition of infidelity is soon becoming a thing in the past. Well, maybe they could have reason, because I'm wondering, how is that a thing? If there is water, how is that going to stop? Your man strikes you, do you go to the well or the borehole to seek refuge there? Well, you could get you can get that, yeah. Hygiene, I said hygiene. They're going to phase out boreholes. They're going to cost. So the cost of a 20-liter jerry can of water will reach to 2,000. Well, right about now we're into the traffic. Yeah, and of course we are along the access road. As you go to Jinja, as you go to the 8th Street, as you continue, probably you're going to Zambia, you're going to all that way actually. Of course, as you can see, access road, as you're coming in from from Garden City, Mulango, Wandegeya, that is the road right there. Yeah, so it's coincidental that every time we have this live feed, those cars are usually stuck the quite few days, because those are the cars that are usually stuck on that road. Trust me, those that are coming in from Ginger Road, they're the ones that are usually let out, because there is a lot of traffic from Ginger Road, because a lot of residential areas that side, from Chireka, from Nakawat, from from Tinda, all that way, people are coming in using the Ginger Road. So the traffic is usually insane right there. So they release those cars not a space of 5 minutes as before they release these ones right there, as you can see. And of course, NMT, yeah, people using bicycles. It's been a while. I really do remember the times of COVID. That is when we saw people using bicycles. But now, due to the congestion that we have, and it's quite interesting how they are really good on the road. They can never be knocked, yeah, as slow as they are compared to the borders. Well, as you can see, the access road right there. Yeah, they've been caught for a few minutes. By the time the live feed came through, they had been caught just in a few minutes. Yeah, and we're waiting for them to be released. Well, looking at the situation there, yeah, also those that are coming in from the city center or from Kampala, as you can see, they've been halted, but not so many vehicles are expected on that road, coming in from that road, unless you you stay, you're using that other side. Some people use alternatives. They could choose to use that side coming in, going to their workplaces. Yeah, as you can see, the road that heads to the 8th Street, or that road, 8th Street, 9th Street, and as you're going to Zambia, as you're going to Yeah, the clock tower, Entebbe Road also. As you can see right there, there are not so many vehicles really. By 9, by 8:30, it's going to be insanely. No, traffic is going to be insanely high, big. That is what I know. So as you can see right there, Ginger Road, cars have been halted for just a few minutes because they're the ones that were moving. By the time we actually got this live feed, as you can see right there, like I said, there are very many residential areas outside and people are going to working areas, probably Parliamentary Avenue, maybe different banks, commercial banks right there. Yeah, so it is quite heavy, and probably people are coming in from Ginger, from Bale, and getting ready to work. Actually, people do travel from Ginger every day to come to work, or probably Mukono. So yeah, as you can see right there, the trouble causers, the borders are on the road. Yeah, this is the situation along the access road. And of course, we're just left with a few minutes to reach half hour. Well, my name is Masika Tsime, and just in case you joined us, we're just looking at how Ugandans do spend as they earn. So think about your life, think about your life choices, your lifestyle, and once in a while save a little for just emergencies. And like someone said, your savings save you at one point, and the next thing you know, you don't have. They can't find any single coin. Well, that and more when you still stick around. But coming up with East Africa, what is happening in East Africa and across the borders of East Africa and Africa. You stay tuned.
Smart 24, driving business.
Luxury redefined at Seasand Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living, fit for the royalty